Are people particularly interested in the origins of the old ones?
Well, that's the genesis of this particular exhibit, was the Spirit Cave discovery. And so what we've done is tried to broaden that particular topic. We have one small panel on Spirit Cave remains, Spirit Cave man, and half of it's Native American commentary, half of it's museum commentary, and no objects are displayed.
Most of us who live here realize how dry it is, but maybe you could make a statement about how remains actually are preserved for a long time, so we're very fortunate here in Nevada to have some of these things.
And actually we have one case that displays for the first time in public a collection of 19 baskets. Actually only half the collection is being displayed at a time, that were found in a dry cave in Winnemucca Lake, Nevada, former sister lake of Pyramid Lake, and 12 to 1500 years in age, and they were donated to the State Museum. And we've been researching them for a number of years, and these are amazing baskets decorated with waterfowl feathers that retain their color and iridescence, and we have those on display, and that's the best example of dry cave preservation that we have here.
Maybe right now we should make a note too that this is the place to come and see these wonderful treasures rather than going out and digging.
Absolutely, and that's one of the messages that we try to convey to the public too, is the damage that's done not only to the archaeological record, but very hurtful to the Native American community also, that people go out and vandalize caves.
What are some of the other things people really need to see here?
We've got some material here that hasn't been seen by the public. And this includes, we have portions of Lovelock Cave decoys. We don't have any of the complete decoys, but we have various heads, different style heads from the Lovelock Cave decoys from Lovelock Cave, and these date from about 800 to about 1800 years in age. We also have a replica of a Lovelock Cave decoy made by local artist Mike Williams. And Mike went as far as getting some of the pigment that paints the head of this canvasback duck from the Lovelock Cave area. And we have in one gallery, in our history gallery, we have a display on the Stewart Indian School Museum. The Stewart Indian School Museum closed over a year ago, and we were fortunate enough to be able to curate the collection until the museum can open again. So we have some of that material on display here, as well as stories from some of the students, good and bad, and their experiences associated with the Stewart Indian School.
Well, Jean, if people have just one chance in their life, let's say, to come and see this exhibit, what do you most want them to go away with?
Yeah, the primary message that we have here, and it applies directly to Native American heritage, which is the theme of this exhibition, but also to other aspects of our presentations in the museum, and that's there are many different ways of answering a lot of the questions that we have about the history and the prehistory of the state of Nevada. And I think we want to not only educate people directly through what we present here, but also get them to thinking about how they interpret the material that we have on display here, and seeking more information, not only from the exhibit, but also from the literature, books, and going to lectures, talking to people about it that have knowledge.
The State Museum does offer a lecture every fourth Tuesday of the month, the Francis Humphrey Lecture Series here in Carson City. And thank you very much, Jean. Besides anthropology, the Nevada State Museum is well known for its history gallery. But space is limited, and most of the treasures are behind the scenes. Coming up, a rare visit off-site to what some call Nevada's attic.
Lived and he realized there was a rider and a saddle on his back, and he exploded. only in Nevada.
Well, the Nevada State Museum in Carson City is renowned for its history collection, and here we are in the back 40, so to speak, of the history area of the museum, and Bob Nylen is the Curator of History for the museum. Well, there are thousands of square feet here filled with things hanging from the ceiling, Bob, and stacked behind us, and everywhere you can see there are artifacts. What kinds of things end up here?
Well, this is one of several collection areas we have, and we have a variety of things from as simple as a 1940s ironing board to political sign. John Kuntz was, if you know anything about Nevada history, he was unbeatable as Secretary of State. He was from Goldfield, out of Goldfield, Nevada. And ethnic things. This is quite a unique thing from Carson City's Chinatown. This is a symbol that came from the Joss House in Carson City that was collected in the 1940s, but is much older than that, and we've used it in a display that we did on the Chinese.
And you've got some photographs of the Joss House too.
Right,
throw
right.
in.
I always like sports. Tennis racket that we collected here, it's patented in 1905. We could use it in some kind of sports exhibit. Another area I enjoy is the brewing history. One of the famous ones was the Reno Brewing Company. This was one of their bottles, the Royal beer that they had. Very colorful labels. But one that, for Carson City and for our state, it has a really significance is Tahoe beer, which was from the Carson Brewing Company. So, and this actually has some beer in it, though it's lost its carbonation. So it's just, again, you wouldn't want to open that or even whiff it. It would
so before you put that down, Bob, the Tahoe Brewery was where the brewery is now.
The Brewery Arts Center, right?
In Carson City.
In Carson City. So, and this was this was their main label, their main beer. A hat box, something colorful as this, Fifth Avenue in New York. We have hat boxes out here. All kinds of tools, from carpenter tools. This is a small little hammer. I might mention on the back, you'll see on some of our things, they have numbers. That's how we keep track and note who gave them and what number it was, and maybe in a donation when somebody's given us. So I just pointed that out since it was on the back. Again, another thing with the beer industry, the Sierra beer, which was with the Reno Brewing Company, this was a skimmer that they would use at the bars to take the foam off, and good advertisement too for the brewery. Lanterns, we have a number of mining things, and this is a great old historic lantern that we have here. This is it's going to take a little weight to lift this up. This is a steam gauge that we think came off the Tahoe, the steamer Tahoe up at Lake Tahoe, or the Meteor, another steamer up there. Quite a piece. We have a U.S. Carson City mint bag. This could have held silver dollars or $20 gold pieces. So we have these, we store these out here. We have about 50 of those from the old mint's history. We've also tried to preserve, for example, when they were doing restoration of the governor's mansion, some of the old pieces of wallpaper that wasn't even used. Possibly could come in handy someday for restoration of the mansion or some other exhibit that we might be doing. This is kind of a fun piece. I really enjoyed this. This was made by a local carpenter for his daughter here in Carson back in the 20s. He made a whole furniture set, a doll furniture for his daughter. And then what we started off next to a child saddle from Bools and Butler out of Reno, Nevada. So just we have ranching things, we have mining things, we have agriculture, we have furniture.
How is it that you decide which artifacts will actually get out and have a life on the exhibit shelf for the public to see?
Well, we've been working on our history gallery for the last few years, and of course we've been able to pull things from our collection center here and other areas. And we're very active in loaning and helping other county museums, city museums, and federal agencies in borrowing things when they need it.
Well, given how many things you already have, are you still taking contributions, donations from the public?
Oh, definitely. We're always interested in receiving calls. If you have any questions about something you might have that you wonder if it would be significant to Nevada history or if we'd be interested in it, please give us a call. We'd love to talk to you, and if it isn't appropriate for us, maybe we can direct you in another way to another museum, or maybe even give you some information on what you have.